Come here, baby.
Stop, Michael. Go look at some more cheeks and ass. I seen all I want to see.
Angela was just accusing me that I'm looking at women.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Buck. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about 90 Day Fiance. Talking about Angela and Michael. The scenes at the wedding is back on. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returning, you already know what it is, baby. You already know what it is. Gang, mineral gang. You understand? Mineral gang. Hey, don't forget to grab your hoodie as well. We appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. Listen, now I know things might seem strange. Let me know if I'm out of order for stepping to you this way. See, I've been watching you for a while. Let's get into the review. All right, cool. So I haven't watched obviously my 90 Day Fiance. Watching Angela and Michael, really interesting. Why? Because I think obviously after the aftermath of the madness that they had another madness. Okay. Now I said this again, Angela. If you don't trust Michael, why are you in this relationship? If you don't trust Michael, why are you in this relationship? Just as much as he might need a green card, you're in need of love. Yeah, just as much as he needs to believe that he loves you to get his green card, you are in a place of believing that he loves you because you need to be loved. Yeah, it's like crazy, bruv. Why? Because when you're in a club, okay, Angela, you're in a club, okay. Now there is like it's hen night and bachelor night, right? You guys decided to do it together. The guys took them to this club. There's asses shaking. Angela, he's gonna see asses shaking.
He looked, and you could look and see the girl up on a podium, and he watched her. I'm furious.
He's gonna see bums and breasts. You understand? It's a club. You know what I mean? He's gonna see bum and breasts. And if you're gonna get vexed, you're gonna get angry, you're gonna fly off the handle for him even seemingly looking in that direction. Let's say he was looking at it. Let's say he was. Right? And you're gonna blow up like that. You're not gonna survive long in this relationship, okay? Nayash and breasts are everywhere in the Americas. You understand? You can't not see it, right? Now I think there's a difference between prolongedly looking at something and with a desire, and then looking at something and then like kind of just be like, oh, okay, a glance. Now I think he was somewhere between the two.
You had to look back, nigga.
I'm sure he was trying to look all night, bruv. When you're seeing young, fine, browning, melanin, Nayash. I understand, right? For those of you who don't know Nayash is bum. I get it, right? But, you know, that himself and his boys were a very good sport. You bought hats that have penises on. Like, yo, in Africa, that's not really something that we do, a hen night. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not what we do, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't do them things, but these mans decided to be a good sport and they did it, right? They knew they couldn't take you to the very raunchy club because you both will be there, so they took you to a medium version of it, right? If you didn't want to be there, you could have left with Jojo when you got there in the first place. Like for you saying obviously, oh, we're gonna leave with Jojo, I'm gonna get our own party tomorrow. It's like that spitefulness and the tit to tat. Come on, like if you were gonna leave with Jojo, you should have left earlier on. You should have gone to your own club. You should have asked where can we go and go there, right? But you didn't. You decided to do it together. The flip side of this also is that one must respect their relationship, okay? Your eye can't be straying to other gal. It makes your girl feel inferior and it makes her feel like she's not significant and she's not special. So I do understand that perspective. I'm just a little bit baffled by the energy that Angela consistently brings every single episode to this brother. Like, you are not going to win that way. You're beating him up. Listen, eventually the person gets beaten up enough, they strike out. And they do something that's completely wild, because you've got the idea that you can keep beating him up because you see him as a weak link. You think you can keep beating him up because you see him as somebody you can
To be honest, if she overreacted, I was just like concentrating on her fiancé.
It hurts my
terrorize, right? And one day the person you're terrorizing becomes a terror. They do something that terrorizes you. and then you're completely shocked and like, oh my God, did it to me? Me? I can't believe that. Why? Because you've become a terror. Relax. See, that energy to want to become a terror often comes from a place of insecurity. Often comes from a place of insecurity. The insecurity here is that, listen, you know, as she mentioned about the fact that
Like him and other women that would let this happen. I'm 54, man.
I know.
My age is a damn problem because he's young.
these are young girls, etc., he's looking at, and that he's younger. That insecurity is now beginning to play in the veracity and the veracity and the velocity of the way that you launch at him when you get frustrated. Now that's not going to win no awards. That's not going to win no relationships, and it quickly degenerates and deteriorates an individual person down, right? And we don't want to see that, right? We don't want that to be the case for the relationship. But that's where it's going to go if there's not a dialing back on the way that you expend your energy on when you're frustrated. And so obviously then flip forward as well, back a few things back. They were at the flower show trying to choose flowers, and I think it was very interesting again because, you know, I think for the episode they kind of weaved it in the fact that her family wouldn't.
And not to have her here, I don't know. And then when it hits me when I'm here doing all this, that the kids ain't here, and you know, Skylar's not here, and
be around for the wedding. I think that's a very tough task on anybody emotionally when you got, especially when you've got grandkids. You know, she mentioned she was on the phone to the grandkid during the car and mentioned the fact that, you know, I think it was Marley that was like, oh, when are you coming back, or when are we going to see you, da da da. They weren't able to come to the wedding because of the distance, it being in Nigeria. And so that's one of the tough things. You're not in your normal country, you're not in your established settings, you're out of your range, you're now married, you're now trying to get things sorted for the marriage. You've had to go through a whole huff and puff in terms of family, etc., etc. That's tough on the body, that's tough on anything, right? So I get that, and I understand that, and I work with that. And then obviously the situation where they have with in terms of the actual amount of the flour, when they have to take the budget from the food budget to the flowers. I ain't gonna lie to you, ain't nobody going to take a food budget away to give me better flowers. You know what I'm saying? No, right? But I understand but the sentimental value of it. Again, this is where relationships are all about compromise and understanding context. Because when you give a context of something, then people can begin to understand. You guys hear me say this all the time. Relationships are about understanding. When Angela explained to him, right? Because he was saying, no, why are you going to spend more money on flowers, da da da. And when she explained that, hey, this is sentimental for me, it reminds me that, remember, I've got, you know, grandchildren, I've got family back home in America who are not able to be here, and so this crochet and this bouquet are helping me to be able to symbolize them in that, right? And so on that basis, then you can begin to calm down and say, okay, do you know what? I get it. Like, I'm not gonna quiver about it. I'm not gonna moan about it. I deep it. I understand it. It makes a lot of sense, right? And so now I'm not gonna fight you on that. But it comes from a place of understanding. If there is no understanding, if you're not telling the person why you're doing what you're doing, then that person can't deep it. Like,
this marriage is not, it's not a marriage. Because can you imagine what this do when I'm not there? Can you imagine?
the other day I was just having a conversation with my missus, and I was like having to explain what I see God telling me. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I always like to give my own input. And I had to explain this once or twice, or, you know, a couple of times to explain it so she gets it. Because I can see it, but you won't be able to see it until I explain it to you and you begin to understand what I'm saying. That's the illumination. Okay, that's bringing forth light. That's why the Bible says, I pray that the eyes of your understanding, you see, the eyes of your understanding are opened, because when you open them, you can receive light, right? So it's important to understand that when you're in a relationship, you have to understand the why of somebody's behavior.
This is Michael. Oh my God.
Michael! Good to see you. Finally get to meet you in person.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm so happy. Thank you. I
Welcome
love
to
Nigeria so far.
And then obviously when Jojo came, I think, again, any relationship where you are going into, you always want a third party, because a third party will dictate to you and tell you how they see things from an outside perspective. And what's interesting is that, you know, when Jojo got off the plane, she said she loves Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. And she gave a really warm hug to Michael, you know, and I love the fact she said, oh, look, I'm here not only for Angela, but I'm here for you too, so long as you treat my old friend right. And I love that. Why? Because, again, she's showing that she's there's some level of impartiality in the way that she wants to treat the person. In fact, she wants to treat a person like a brother or a friend, or close, or a husband, or being a friend of the wife, whatever. She wants to treat him correctly. She wants to treat Michael with love, right? But only if you're gonna respect my friend, because obviously she's got her doubts, and I'm sure everybody else got their doubts. So I can understand why she was feeling that way. But what's interesting is that at the time when they were in the club, she got angry. What was interesting was that the fact that when they were leaving, I saw Angela going into a fit of rage. And Jojo didn't necessarily enable it. She didn't necessarily, when I say enable, she didn't necessarily make the fire grow, right? Jojo actually stayed quite quiet. If you watch her body language, she was quite quiet. She just kind of nodded her head once or twice, but kept her head focused forward.
I know.
I love him, but I cannot do it. He's at the weddings. I'm not doing it. I swear I'm not doing it.
Angie, what do you want me to tell you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm sorry.
Why? She didn't want to give no more ammunition. She wasn't trying to give any more ammunition to the beef. She wasn't trying to give any more ammunition to what was happening. And that's so interesting because that shows me the type of friend that she is. And that maybe she has seen this type of behavior from Angela and it's become a norm where you go, do you know what, it's just Angela. It's just Angela. Let her be. It's just Angela. And we shouldn't be that place. But the truth of the matter is it can happen. People can end up making themselves a normality in their abusive behaviors and traits. And even the anger that she was showing, I get it. I get why she was frustrated. But it's just interesting that Jojo didn't really feed into that as well. And obviously, Michael himself was a little bit scared of Jojo coming because he's scared that he's going to get judged. He's scared that Jojo will have a different opinion. He's scared that Jojo will say something. Bearing in mind that Jojo's really close to Angela and has some level of influence over her, that Jojo's words would lead to them no longer getting married. Because the marriage is very, very important. There's a green card attached to it, to get me. And then I want to end on this point as well. If your end goal is always, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to leave you, it's kind of a psychological manipulation. It's kind of an emotional manipulation. That you always dangle the carrot that I will leave you as a way to kind of get the person to stay.
To make this better, and it looks so scary.
Michael, you're done. I love you, but I'm not doing this anymore.
It's almost like, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to leave you. And actually what it becomes a form of manipulation, because what you're doing now is you are trying to get the person to feel a certain way. You're trying to move that person into a certain place. And when you say, I'm going to end it, you're trying to get the person to feel emotional and feel sad and feel, I'm losing something. When really all you need to do is just actually have a conversation. What you really need to do is actually have an actual discussion. But when you dive into, I'm going to leave you, it's almost presenting the fact that you don't really care about the relationship. So I can leave whenever I want to. I'm good. I don't know about you, but I can leave this all whenever I want to. And I've done that. It's actually a defense mechanism. What for? It's to guard your heart. You know, people say, I'm going to leave you. It's actually a defense mechanism so you don't get hurt, right? So what you tend to do is like say, I will leave then. I don't leave. I don't care, bruv. And you keep saying, I'm going to leave throughout every argument. And it's because what you want to do is that person to show you that they care, right? And it's a way, obviously, of saying, look, you know what? I don't care if you do what you do. I will leave. I'll just do me, right? And the only person that's hurting more often than not is you. Because when you say it, you may believe it. You may even act it out. But what you've done is that you're consistently emotionally manipulating the person into a certain action. It's a bit like when someone says, I'm going to kill myself, right? To stay in a relationship, right? That person's no longer staying willingly. They're staying because they don't want you to die, right? I'm going to a very extreme. And so similar enough, when someone says, obviously, I'm going to leave you, every single time an argument happens, they're actually not sorting out the actual issue. What they're doing is they're trying to assert themselves and make you go straight into emotions and not deal with the logic of what's happened. And so therefore you're trying to now fight a fire of don't leave me, and it becomes toxic because you now begin to grovel because you don't want that person to leave you rather than actually dealing with the issue. So yeah, that's Angela and Michael. Guys, if you think something different, let me know down below in the comment section. But Michael, keep your eyes focused on the job. Don't be looking at the bums and the beeves and the breasts. You understand? Stay locked, stay loaded. We appreciate you guys. More love.